Hello, everybody. I am the CEO of iiRcade, and you are watching the best show in the world, Retro Buzz. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Friday, so it's time for the Retro Buzz, the show that talks about everything that has to do with, well, retro video games, console, arcade, you name it. But we talk about the new stuff too, except when we have this.
Oh, I got me some P-Dub stickers, but they're worthless. They're not his current logo. Now we get them. Snap it to his 7K P-Dub's arcade loft today.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Glenn Planamento in his Hall of Arcades. And, yeah, here we've got...
How do you follow that up?
I don't even know what to do after
No,
that
what do you say? What do you say? Although he does have a point. Like, P-Dubs fire sold those stickers out to everybody right after he changed his logo. So it's like, hey, here's something that's automatically outdated. Enjoy.
Kind of reminds me of some things like, I don't know, computer companies like to do, you know, do these fire sales and such.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we have Douglas Smith, youtube.com/CoolToy. It's always hard to follow. You know, Glenn, I'm going to start doing you last, even though I know you like to be first, because we can't follow you up.
I was getting ready to say.
Put me last. I'm in the contract. I go second.
How do you follow that up?
I just love that he put it in his contract that he goes second, not first. You would think it'd be inverted, but no. He writes his own demands.
I'm not that greedy, man. This is Glenn Dubs, and I'm okay being number 2.
We have him back in the middle, folks. He has to be. He wanted to be in the middle of the box. We got him back in the middle. Well, it's great to have you guys with us. One of the things we want to kind of get into this week, if you guys didn't see it, I know there's a lot of memes that were running around about Mario is dead. That's the end of Mario, right? I think some people even made some memes where he was actually dying, but Nintendo actually took away the Super Mario 35th anniversary this week.
Which sucks because it was super fun. I mean,
it was.
It's one of those things like yes, they said they were going to do it. So, I mean, we all had literally an entire year to prepare for this, but everyone, I think, was still in the back of their mind thinking, well, they're not going to do it. I dare them. They're not going to do it. And they did. So it's disappointing. I played hours and hours and hours of Mario 35, enjoyed every bit of it. I've started to go down that rabbit hole of the new replacement, but I do miss Mario 35.
What about you, Glenn? Did you play any of Mario 35 at all?
I was just about to do it, and they took it down. And that's what Glenn Dubs doesn't like about this DLC type of content, because they can just take it from you.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss myself personally. I did play it. I'll be honest. I played it a lot. My son and I played it. We enjoyed it. I wish they would have kept it, but what they did bring, they brought out Pac-Man 35, and I didn't know what you guys thought.
99.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
99.
They turned that dial up to 11.
Yeah, it's a lot like Pac-Man or Mario 35. That's why I was getting it kind of confused. Let's pull this up here.
It does remind me of Pac-Man for some reason. Might be in the name.
So I wonder if I'm going to get like a copyright strike here on this or something.
Pac-Man's everywhere. It's fine.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it has the same kind of core mechanics as Mario 35. You're playing online against everybody simultaneously. Your progress through the game affects other people's games. You catch the power pellets. You eat the blue ghost. You go through, you try to chain them all together, and you send them over there, and it counteracts what the other person's gameplay looks like. It throws little ghost things in their way, and things that'll slow them down, things that'll automatically kill them, jam them, slow their gameplay down completely. I mean, it's very addictive and very fun, and it breathes new life into Pac-Man, which, let's be honest, it's something that is sorely needing of a revamp.
I tell you, they did put a lot of good play mechanics. I gotta stop talking like this. I'm gonna talk like myself.
I was gonna say
The play mechanics. The play mechanics it looks pretty cool. I like how they did that. I like how, like when you get the ghosts and you chomp on them, it gets put on someone else. Like on the Game Boy with Tetris, you're playing with a link cable. You get a Tetris and it dumps onto the other player, makes it worse for them. I think that's pretty cool. So it does look like a lot of fun stuff they added into here. So with all the Pac-Mans that we have these days to play it, this looks like a nice, fun, refreshing way to go into the game.
Well, and I think that I think it's going to be a hit. But is it temporary? Is it something they're just doing it because it was Pac-Man's 35th, or are they planning on keeping it around? Has anybody heard anything about that?
I would presume they're keeping it around until we get what is the inevitable Zelda 35, because this is Zelda's, The Legend of Zelda, the original NES game. It's its 35th anniversary this year, so everyone's automatically assuming that it's going to get equal treatment as Mario did last year. So inevitably, if we see a Zelda 35 type of game come out, obviously Pac-Man99 will probably have to go by the wayside. Or maybe they just struck a deal with Namco and said, hey, let's keep this forever, because it does have paid DLC content, so it is generating revenue for them besides the free game. So maybe that's a reason enough for them to leave it on there, as long as I want.
Now, what do you think, Glenn? Is this enough for you to open up your Switch and actually... Oh, well, I guess that's the answer.
I've thought about it. I'm thinking about it, but I haven't done it yet. Still in the box, still in its bag. And again, remember, folks, free bags at your local supermarket in the vegetable aisle.
You're the reason. You're the reason that that stuff.
Yeah, England doesn't like me right now.
Yeah,
they're not happy with me. Yeah. I cost them 25p a bag now.
So, are you ever going to take that thing out of the bag? Are you going to at least? I mean, you're a Pac-Man guy. I mean,
yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do it live. I'm going to take it out of the bag.
Okay, but are you going to take it out of the? Wait. Take it out of the package.
I can only do one request, man. You already made the request. I took it out of the bag. So.
Oh, come on.
Glenn's playing that long game, so he's like, I don't know if you guys saw in the news, but somebody sold an unopened copy of Super Mario Brothers. That was highly graded, like $660,000 or something like that. So, Glenn's hoping that right before he dies, Cole takes the Switch, and instead of throwing it out in the yard, puts it up on eBay, and then can give him a Viking funeral instead of just throwing him out in the ditch.
Although what Doug says has some rings of truth in it, I personally think it's crazy insane that anyone, I don't care how much money you have, maybe it was Jeff Bezos, I don't know, spend that kind of money on an NES card. I'm sorry. That's lunacy. I don't care what condition it's in. That's crazy. Whoever you were an idiot. I'm sorry.
Things like that just need to be donated to a museum. I understand that, sure, somebody should have some financial reward to it, but it shouldn't be $660,000.
Right.
That's crazy talk.
But
it's literally just cellophane.
But it's Super
That's
Mario
the difference
Brothers.
between it and like I know it's Super Mario Brothers. It's iconic and everything, but it's also one of the most produced games of all time. So like,
right?
Yes, it's not like a comic book like where it has so much wear and tear on it, and it's been around for 80 years. Granted, Super Mario Brothers has been around for 30 plus years, but it's not like Action Comics 1, which survived World War II and went through all these different decades and eras of handing over of time. It's for something to be that valuable, it needs to be 100 years old, for crying out loud.
It was a $3 parts, $3 in parts for Nintendo, then licensing fees. It's a $3. I can't. I really, it drove me crazy when I saw that. I'm like, someone was just a complete moron. I don't care how much money you have. You could have bought it for $3 and donated to charity, or donated it to Glenn's retro show, so I could actually get a real camera and a real computer in here. I don't know. I guess everyone has their collections. I mean, obviously, Doug, Steve, and myself, we have our own collections here, but I would never spend anywhere close to something like that for anything. Sorry.
What about
No,
you,
it
Doug?
would it would have to be like Mario's overalls or something like it would have to be something that like was based and has more significant attachment than just being like a sealed copy. It would have to be, you know, like I said, Mario's overalls, the Mario or something like that, to have some sort of more historical significance to it, or, you know, things that obviously don't exist. Link's sword, his actual sword. Okay, you know,
Right.
that makes sense,
Well, there's
even
a
though it's
when
a
you bring
fictitious item.
when you bring that up, Atari back in the day had a contest, Sword Quest, Earth Quest, and in those contests they actually had real prizes. They actually had a sword, a real like platinum sword with real emeralds and diamonds and rubies. They had a chalice. They had all a shield. They were worth back in 77, 78. They were worth like around $250,000 for these items. That I could see someone spending that kind of money for something like that. That was real emeralds and gold and pewter. $3 cartridge. I don't know how special it is, because you know what? As pristine as that one is, I guarantee in someone's attic somewhere, there's one in the exact same condition. It's just,
Well, that was
stupid.
That was the funny thing about this story was it was in somebody's desk drawer for over 30 years. Like they'd moved around things, and it was a Christmas present that never got given away. But I'm like, first of all, yeah, it's cool that you put it in a drawer for 30 years, but why haven't you opened that drawer in 30 years? Dear God, what kind of hoarder is going on with this?
Well, it could have been a house like Glenn, and you know they could have had
Double
50
bagging?
That's what I was thinking, and that's how it kept in pristine condition. And didn't they get it? What do you call that when you graded?
Yeah, when you,
Yeah.
I mean, which is depending on your opinion on those type of things. Some people think grading things is a racket and a scam.
Yep. Yeah, oh yeah.
Others,
I'm
you
one
know,
of
think
those.
it's an absolute necessity because, you know, it takes away the objective how good condition things are. You get like a third party independent company to come in and say, hey, you know, if you guys can't agree on how good, you know, the condition of this, we'll play middleman and we'll give you an official grading. Why people think that, you know, should raise the price 4 times as much as it normally does is beyond me. But, you know, value is always in the eye of the beholder.
Well, I was kind of debating. My buddy you remember Michael? He was on the show here. He got an in-box Gen 2 Sega CD. He's selling for $425, even though I have it. He also got an in-box Virtual Boy for $450.
Wow, that's
There you
still a
go.
lot of money.
A bunch of games that are still in the box for Virtual Boy, some that aren't even opened yet. He's got a bunch of other Sega Genesis games, and even one that I know everybody's excited for that's announced recently for iiRcade, and that is ToeJam and Earl. So I'm really considering picking that up. Doug, you want to hit that one up?
Yeah, so that, I mean, that was a cool new acquisition that we learned that iiRcade signed. There's no actual, as far as last I checked anyway, ETA on when the game will be available, but it's going to be ToeJam and Earl. Was it Back in the Groove, I think is the official name.
Mm-hmm.
It is the newest version of ToeJam and Earl, so this is not the original Sega Genesis classic that most of us grew up and know and loved. This new game just came out in 2019. Very fun game, very, you know, true to form, back to basics type of gameplay. Very 90s on the nose references and just crazy off the wall antics and things like that. Like, if you're a product of the 90s, you will appreciate this game, and you already probably do appreciate the ToeJam and Earl franchise. But to be able to play this on the iiRcade is great. I'm super excited about it. Again, it kind of speaks to the versatility of the iiRcade platform, whereas they're able to get more newer, advanced, modern games on the platform where other companies really can't do that without some sort of connectivity with a PC or streaming device or something like that.
What
Yeah,
about
I
what about
agree.
you,
It's
Glenn?
really cool. Well, it's really cool. I told Jim and Earl. I mean, it's totally a '90s game. At least the the first two, but they're enjoyable games. So it's kind of cool. Like Doug said, that iiRcade is able to get us on the platform. The machine's capable of running it. I think it'll be a really cool addition. I'm dying to see how it plays, because I did like the ToeJam and Earl, well, the first one anyway. I thought it was fun.
Some of the guys here in the chat are saying home run by iiRcade. No, the Virtual Boy wasn't unwrapped. I want to stress that. It was the games that were unwrapped. It was just a complete in box on that. I'm excited. ToeJam and Earl was one of my favorite games for Sega Genesis growing up. And so I've been looking forward to when I heard him make that announcement. I was really excited, but what I was disappointed about, and maybe I missed it somewhere, and I've had some tech challenges here in the studio, and some stuff for work. I didn't hear when there was the release for that. Does anybody know?
He gave it. He
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
say.
I was about to say, I don't think there is one at this moment, but soon. The famous last words. Expect it soon.
I'm still waiting for Retromania on the iiRcade. I want that.
I hear
I want
ya.
that. I want
Yeah.
that. If anyone has not seen Doug's, what he did to his, you need to go over to his channel. Doug, can you show it? Is it in that room right now? Your
It
Retromania
is.
machine?
I would have to like drag it over here, though.
I can pull up the YouTube video if you want to kind of talk about it.
But
little
it's
bit.
beautiful what he did there. I'm promoting you. You're not promoting it. I'm promoting
I was
you.
about to say, you're going to try to make me promote
No,
myself, which is something I don't want to do.
But one other thing I got to say on top of that. What's your favorite pinball?
Oh, here we go.
How many times did I answer this question? I tell you, and people just don't listen. Ninja Turtles, basic fun.
I heard
someone has-
heard some sad news. Heard some sad news about Basic Fun, by the way. I'm
Uh-oh.
understanding they're not going to be making any new Tiny Arcades other than the ones they have out now. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, that is a bummer. It's also kind of not shocking, too, because I feel like they've already kind of like checked the boxes of like the top 50 highest selling arcade games and releases and most popular titles already. So it's like you really start getting down into the weeds. You're already a niche product. So from a business standpoint, it probably makes
Oh,
the
here
most
we
sense.
go. Talk to us about this bad boy, Doug.
Yeah, well, I was feeling frisky and I decided just to tear my iiRcade all to hell. I really just wanted to commemorate the fact that us three amigos are in this game, and I'm a wrestling fanboy, plus I love action figures. So I was like, hey, let me incorporate all that. So I got some custom artwork made, slapped it on my iiRcade, put in my favorite HAP IL Eurostick joysticks and buttons that I, can't live without, even though it was a pain in the butt to actually get them in there, and it was way more work than I suggest anybody does. And then I incorporated a retro Hasbro wrestling ring in there to, start setting up my action figures, my old school retro action figures in there, because it meshes well with the aesthetics and, the character design of Retromania as a whole.
And I'll agree with you. The control panel area is very, very tight. So kudos to you for getting those in there.
And he
Yeah,
and
it
he
was
was one
it was
of
a knuckle buster for sure.
and you've successfully voided your warranty and
Oh,
made
100%.
and made everybody gripe and No, it does
Hey,
look
I
good
mean-
though. It looks really
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it's one of those things. And I was upfront about it. I was like, "Hey, don't do this. As soon as you open this, you void your warranty." I'm adamant, and I don't like the fact that just simply opening the control panel, even to do something as small as change out your restrictor gate on the joysticks, the stock joystick, is going to void your warranty. But then again, it's like I said, that stock PCB is in there, so I understand why they would kind of put that that reservation in place, because even just nicking it with a screwdriver the wrong way, you kill your iiRcade right out of the gate. So
And
I don't like
I'm
it, but I understand it.
I'm going to agree with you because you obviously know that I mod a lot of stuff, and I was going to put my Tron joysticks in there. I was going to do a whole bunch of things. It's designed very well. So say it again. It's designed very, very well. But when you get in there and you get that bottom off and you start looking at the PCB in there, I took it apart. I did, but it's not something I would say I would recommend, especially if it's in warranty. If you want to wait till after it's warranty, that's fine. But one other note, what Doug did on the bottom half is fine. That's not voiding a warranty. It's going into the control panel area. That's going to void the warranty.
Yeah, and that's what Mike's
I did
saying.
there was I just installed everything kind of like bass backwards and put my kick plate in the back and took the back panel off and kind of opened it up and just took one of my panels and made a faux shelf, and voila, display case.
But you know what, like Mike's saying here, he says probably the most expensive part of that mod was the actual Hasbro ring that you put under. And I actually just sold mine to Michael, believe it or not. I sold it because mine was in pretty bad shape. Well, he restored it, got new ropes for it and everything like that. And I didn't care. I was like, time for something new, So
I think, Doug, you did spend a pretty penny on that, didn't you?
Well, yes and no. So like I mentioned to you guys privately, like that's not a actual Hasbro ring. I think it's actually a Mattel retro reissue that came out in like 2019. I bought for like
Oh.
$9. But because it's so desirable and it's basically a cookie cutter, copy of that old Hasbro ring, and it hasn't been made in a couple of years, even the freaking reissue is going for like $175 on eBay right now. Of which I made the mistake of looking it up just out of curiosity as I was opening it. I was like, well, son of a gun. Paid $9 for it. Could have sold it for 170 something, but oh well, I don't care. I'm not a toy scalper anyway. My wife yells at me all the time. I buy toys and she's like, well, how much do you pay for that? I'm like, well, how much did I pay for it versus how much it's worth? And she's like, well, if it's worth more than you pay for it, you should sell it. And I'm like, I always have a crisis of conscience with this. It's like, yes, I technically should be fiscally responsible, and if something is fetching 5 times the MSRP value, I should probably sell it. But I don't. I put it on a shelf and I admire it with loving eyes.
And I'm going to suck both these guys into one thing real quick here as well, since I know both these guys will buy it. And I actually may buy this myself, which is the Optimus Prime self-transforming robot that was just announced. It's $700, but it is too cool not to get this.
I've literally spent all day talking myself out of this. And it's funny, too, because like I got a glimpse of the precursor to this at CES, the last CES that we were able to go to, because the company that actually made this for Hasbro is a company called Roboson. So they had this on display in its primitive form, and it looked, even then, like 90% like Optimus Prime. And I remember talking to the person, I was like, y'all are going to get sued by Hasbro. I'm like, it's super cool and everything what it does, but I'm like, you don't have to be, super smart or a toy nerd to recognize even the silhouette. I'm like, that looks like Optimus Prime. And they're like, yeah, we did that on purpose. So
there you
apparently
go.
they were sowing the seeds and, trying to set that connection to get this started. So 2 years later, it's even bigger than what I saw at CES, because that original model was like 12 inches tall and it was like $500 then. But now it's got more bells and whistles. It's taller. It's got an app that makes it do all sorts of more crazy, ridiculous things. But yeah, $700, a lot of money. But who doesn't want a self-transforming Optimus Prime that you can tell what to do and it rolls out, transforms? It even dabs, for crying out loud.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that the second one in the series is going to be the self-transforming Megatron that actually shrinks. It goes full size, and then it shrinks down to a little gun.
That'll be cool. So we have to go back to your build, Doug, because P-Dubs gave a super chat and he says, I still think Doug he says, I still think Doug accidentally built his iiRcade backwards, and when he realized it, he said, oh man, either reassemble it or leave it the way it is.
Which I totally remember commenting to Pete up, because he said a similar thing on my video post. That is not completely out of the realm of possibility. It didn't happen, but my wife will tell you I'm notorious. I'm the guy that doesn't read instructions. Like, I open things, I'm like, oh, instructions, whoop, throw it over the shoulder. I'm the guy that wants to always figure it out himself, and a lot of times that has disastrous results, but that's just my personality. I want to try to do as much as possible on my own before I like wave the white flag and say I need help.
Well, let's talk about.
Don't use instructions. That's well-known fact, Mr. Doug. Glenn Dubs doesn't read instructions.
Dubs says, "Oh, LOL, I knew it." Let's go back real quick. Because we were talking about Pac-Man99, but we were also talking about how Nintendo killed off Mario 35. But let's talk about Super Mario All-Stars. Now, everybody was gearing up for Super Mario All-Stars and buying it, and Nintendo came out in the beginning and said it was going to be a limited edition. You're only going to get it till March 31st. And now, I don't know if you guys seen it on eBay, but the scalpers went like $10,000 to $50,000 for this copy.
It's because people misinterpreted that statement. So people were acting like on March 31st that Nintendo representatives were going to go to retail stores, grab an armload of all those Mario All-Star games, throw them in a box, throw them in a vault, and you never see the likes of them. What Nintendo's intention was that, hey, we're not going to make this game anymore after March 31st. That doesn't mean it's just magically going to disappear. But yeah, anytime, you have some sort of scarcity, whether it be true or false, the internet's always going to take advantage. People are going to try to fleece the market. And yeah, you got people, driving up this crazy price. Like, look at that. $500, 47 watchers. No one's going to buy that, but there's 47 people that are like, I wonder if somebody will buy it.
95 grand. 10 grand.
Because everybody's huddled around waiting to see if some idiot buys it.
Yeah, because I mean, you can still get it. There's here's 15,000. There's still spots in here that you can buy for $52 unopened. Yeah. I have a copy. It's open, but I have a copy here. Look at this, $45,000.
You're crazy.
This is how insane all this stuff is.
That's
so
a bargain. That's a bargain.
But,
I mean, I heard Super Mario 1 was going for $660,000. So why is $45,000 out of the realm of possibility?
Well,
I'll sell you everything I got in my room right now. Get 45 grand. Come to my house. You can take everything I got. Seriously, that's crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and Nintendo came out and said, in response to this, I saw that they didn't say they weren't ever going to make this game again. They just said that, it may or may not come back in a remake. A
repackage.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same copy, but those games would be re-released in some form of fashion. Either way, it's still going to be valuable, and I'm debating whether I should just buy one sealed. But then I go back to kind of what you said about this isn't a museum, and nobody's really going to pay for that, really. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah. Unless you have a situation where you can make stupid amounts of money, thousands and thousands of dollars, yeah, just open the damn thing and enjoy it.
Well, and that's it. That's where I'm
at.
Well, you would put it in a bag even if
two.
it's in plastic. You'd still put it in a bag.
Of course, that's what the plastic's for, to protect the plastic. Come on.
J.S. Gilbert in the chat room, he goes, well, for $45,000, he says, I'll do all the voices for you in person.
I was about to say, you should definitely, like, for $45,000, you ought to have an entire ensemble cast, reenact the entire Mario game for you.
For real. Like, I don't know where these guys are coming up with these. I mean, because the market's been saturated. What did Nintendo sell? Like over 3 million or 3 billion copies of this or something like that?
Yeah, it's not scarce.
Yeah, it's not scarce. I mean, maybe 50, maybe even 80 years down the road, maybe it'll be scarce to find something because people destroyed them or whatever.
By that time, everything's all digital. So, yeah, physical media will be scarce.
Right.
I better be dead by then.
You probably will. We'll have all your collection in our house.
Yeah.
As long as you got it, man. That's all I care about. Good homes, guys. You'll go to good homes.
But I thought about just, when I bought my physical copy, I thought about just leaving it in the package. I bought my son one. But I was like, and then I was just going to buy the digital copy and play that. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to support the digital movement. I'm just going to buy the physical copy. That's it.
Bravo, sir. Good choice.
Yeah, even limited run games, when they come out with Retromania, I'm going to buy the physical copy. Yeah, right now I have to have the digital in order to play the game.
Yeah, that's your only choice.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool seeing us in the crowd and seeing other YouTubers in the crowd in some of the arenas. But for me, I want that physical copy because just like Sony, did you guys see with the PlayStation 4 shutting down? I know we were kind of in between shows. We didn't have that. People are upset because Sony's like, pretty much, if you download your game and you delete it, well, so sorry, so sad, too bad. Yeah. You're screwed.
Been warning you guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can't get too upset because the writing has always been on the wall with this stuff. If you embrace digital only content, you're gonna have those negative consequences down the line. Whether you have hard drive failure that you're not able to re-download the game, or they pull the servers down. Eventually, you're just not going to be able to enjoy those games.
Right.
Yep. And you get bored of it today, come back in a year or 2 or 3 years. Oh, I want to play the game. Can't. And that really grinds Glenn's gears next to Kathleen Kennedy. Is this type of thing? They shut down the servers and all the money you spent. I mean, it was your money, and guess what? You don't really own it. They own your money, and they still own the game and the content. And when they do something like that, you're screwed.
So, one thing I want to kind of talk about before we go into, I know, Doug, there was another story that you wanted to kind of get into, but I wanted to talk about, because we didn't have a show last week because it was Good Friday, but Arcade 1-Up started shipping out their Mortal Kombat cabinets, and I had seen some posts of people where the control deck sits lower than the sides, and guys were saying it wasn't comfortable to put their hand in. I mean, it was almost like a quarter of an inch that it sat below that, where the other style, the control decks actually lay down on top. Right. So then today, somebody posted a picture on social media that the buttons are backwards on that beautiful Asteroids cabinet that everybody's
you mean
been.
Tempest?
I'm sorry, Tempest. You're right, Tempest. Everybody's been clamoring because they want that cabinet because it looks. Even you, Glenn, you were saying.
Yeah, I can play Missile Command like this. Sure.
So
that's fine.
What is going on?
Wrong side.
Hand-eye coordination, that hand dexterity.
What's going on over in Arcade 1-Up world? Like, it seems like things aren't getting better; they're getting worse on these cabinets, and guys are getting upset.
I don't know.
They're getting irritated.
What happened to quality control? What happened to these guys they're bringing in to make sure everything's being done right? It's not happening. It's not working. I can't believe, because that's a beautiful cabinet. Me and Doug, we're both drooling over this cabinet. I think it's a gorgeous looking machine.
I was thinking about getting it for mine too, and I'm not really a huge Tempest fan, but it looks.
I have
looks
no
nice.
room. Cole again would be on the lawn or something. I had to get it, but now that that control panel's backwards, I don't want to. It's just it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. That's a very basic thing. Now again, the machine's not released yet. Maybe it's a pre-production thing. Maybe they're going to fix it, but they're releasing photographs that get people looking at it going, "What the hell?"
Yeah. It's not good, Doug.
No, I mean, the thing that worries me and kind of frustrates me the most about that entire situation was, it's been several months since they announced the Legacy Edition cabinets and everything. And even then, we saw the photos, people made comments. One of my number one gripes was the Street Fighter, the Capcom Legacy one. I said, hey, the cabinet design, the aesthetics and everything looks great. I don't understand why you're using championship control panel graphic instead of the actual artwork that should belong on that original Legacy Street Fighter 2 cabinet. I'm like, you've got plenty of time to change the graphic. There's no reason you can't tell me that it was a licensing issue, because you actually are using the original art that should go on the control panel on the riser itself. So the art is available. So I don't know why they're using it. And it made it all the way shipped to customers and, never got changed. Same thing with the Tempest. We've seen these same mock-up photos since the day they first got announced. They had plenty of time, in my opinion, in my eyes. Obviously, they could have already started the manufacturing process back then. But in my eyes, they had time to change things like the inverted reverse controls, and it didn't happen. So that just like, why not? This is, again, back to low-hanging fruit stuff. Like the control deck sunken down, you could argue it two ways. You could say, yes, that is technically accurate to something like a Dynamo cabinet, which is correct. But a Dynamo arcade full-size cabinet has a much wider, area for resting your arms and your hands. So you're not going to be rubbing the side of your hand up against the, the walls of the arcade itself. Arcade 1-Up, obviously a much smaller form factor. So it is going to be a little bit of an issue to have a recessed control deck, and then you're going to be rubbing your hand up and against that. And then the lack of, a recessed angled screen, like that was one thing Arcade 1-Up said, hey, we recognize we had an issue in Gen 1 with our angle of our screen not being optimized. So they updated new cabinets, said, all right, moving forward, we're going to tilt it back a little more, give it a more visually pleasing angle, which is great. Everybody was positive about that. And then they did a step backwards with the design again. They said, well, let's stop angling it. I'm just like, I don't understand why some of these choices are being made, because like I said, it's the old adage of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. They do so many things to improve, and they also shoot themselves in the foot.
Let me ask you guys, going along with that logic, Doug, the comment here in the chat room by Brian here, he wants to know, he says, hey, has Double Dragon been confirmed on the Killer Instinct cabinet with Battletoads? And I believe it was, but why would you take a game like Double Dragon that could be a standalone cabinet itself? You could put the trilogy on it, even though I get it.
I was under the impression it was Double Dragon and Battletoads, which is a separate game, not Double Dragon.
Okay. Yeah. I thought when they showed the prototype, that was my bad. So why, again, I understand Double Dragon 3 was probably the worst game of the Double Dragon series. I get that. I personally, I'm a Double Dragon 2 fan myself, just throwing that out there. Why wouldn't you do like a Double Dragon 2 cabinet, put that awesome artwork that was on the front of the box, make that a cabinet and put all 3 on it for the trilogy, and give it to the guys that want them in their game rooms. Like, why would you pair it with Battletoads? Because I think I would even take a Battletoads cabinet. I really would.
Mm-hmm. I mean, part of it is, that behind closed doors licensing things. One thing that some people may or may not know is they had tried originally to pitch a Double Dragon cabinet. People that have been around long enough to remember the glorious NBA Jam cabinet inside of a trailer back at CES type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right next door to it was a Double Dragon cabinet. Everyone was fixated on the NBA Jam cabinet, but there was a Double Dragon machine there so they could have their licensing meeting. So at some point, it was conceptualized, prototyped, and pitched. Why they chose to go a different route, there could be a million answers to that. We'll never technically officially know. But they did, at some point, at least kick around the tires and the idea of it.
Glenn, what's your thoughts?
Pretty much what Doug said right there. I remember and back then when they had the cameras, I do remember seeing Double Dragon in the back. I don't know. It usually comes down to licensing. That's really what it is, to be quite honest. As far as the cabinet designs and I have smaller hands than probably most guys. I have very delicate hands. So for me, paying that type of cabinet wouldn't even bother me, to be quite honest, with the control panel being that close. But I know some people it is. I don't know. I still go back to, I thought Arcade 1-Up was bringing people in to kind of watchdog and make sure that the cabinets are being built in a better fashion. And I've even seen some of these Mortal Kombat, these new Mortal Kombat machines where the panels weren't even lining up at all. Like they were very misaligned. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there right now. Hopefully it'll get fixed. But they've been around 3 years now. And they've been telling us that they're going to be improving their production, improving their quality control. And I think overall, I'm not going to say they're not. They have gotten better. They really, really have. But I know I still have a support ticket that's over a year and a half old, and I haven't gotten my stuff. And I'm, give up on it. Just live without it. Sometimes maybe that's what they want.
Yeah. So gonna check out what Camo says here. He says, Tech Buzz, what's the deal with the new pinball tables on ArcadeNet leaderboards like Starship Troopers and Star Trek? Well, I don't really play the ones that are like in the cloud. I think there's too much latency on there. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. After playing 60 frames, 1080p with the Zakaria tables and the Gottlieb tables, I don't even bother. But let's talk about that for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed, or Doug, if you noticed on the latest pinball release from last week or was the week before, they added some kind of new in the firmware at games where it almost feels like you got the knock of the solenoid. I don't know how they did that. Did you notice that on playing some of the Zakaria tables, that when you hit it, you sometimes get the ball rolling and you'll hear that knock if you crank the volume, like you get that solenoid knock. I don't know how else to explain it.
I can't honestly say that I've noticed anything of that similar nature. I will say that the Zakaria tables, however you want to pronounce it,
however you say it.
Yeah. The acoustics and the feedback, if you will, on those tables versus the standard Gottlieb tables is better. Like I said, my favorite
better
game is Black Belt. Just the visuals of them, I don't know what it is, the render, the graphics, but the Zakaria tables look better than the built-in Gottlieb tables, in my opinion. The sound is better. I think the Gottlieb tables have like a half a second, or that's probably maybe too much of a time reference, but they have some sort of acoustic delay for like the flipper going up and the flipper going down. It's enough for your ear to pick up on it, but it's not enough for your brain to say, well, this is stupid, this is lag. It's enough to annoy and be a nuisance. But yeah, I will say that yes, the Zakaria tables, the haptic feedback works better on those to me.
Yes, I agree. Try it. If you haven't updated the firmware, try putting the haptic on 100%, because I know they did a lot of work with it. And tell me if you hear it on certain tables. Like Hot Wheels is one that I play a lot. I felt that a lot. And the one circus game, I can't think of it. I think it's on page 2 or 3. I forget. It might be, but I always play the newer tables, not the retro ones. And I'm telling you, a couple of the tables, it sounded, and it kind of gave the feeling that the ball was rolling. And I don't know if they're just tricking your head, but it had that knock that the solenoid would do, like on a real table. It caught me off guard. Like I was like, whoa.
So wasn't your son under the table?
Well, that very well could have been too. I mean,
Poor man's haptic feedback.
anybody else in the chat room, if you're watching this, have you noticed that any of the changes? Now, I know At Games delayed this week. They delayed the firmware for the pinball. I think the rumor is it'll be out again next week, and we'll see a new firmware update. But I'm kind of, I got to give it to At Games at this. They're not rushing the firmwares anymore. If they see something, they pull it back. Yes, I have to give it to them. I think that was a smart move.
We do appreciate that they're very conscious about making new firmware available, but it's okay to let it cook a little bit longer.
Yes, 100%. Like I've never understood, and I've never had it explained to me why they were always on that weekly time scale. Like I don't. To me, as a consumer and a fan of the products and everything, like I don't care how often your firmware comes out. It's just as long as it is fully developed and it works and it does what it says it's going to do. Like you can take months in between firmware updates. I don't care. Just do it right.
Yeah, your average gamer.
I would be fine by monthly. I don't know if I'll go months, but monthly might have been better than every week, because a lot of times when they rush it to market, they introduce some other little glitch that would have been found. They did a little more testing on it. But again, I'm just happy that they're a company that is constantly improving the product, which is still a very good thing.
Well, and your average gamer says you can hear it clearly. So he's hearing it too. So I'm not going crazy here, but again, I think it's something that we've said from day one that have had this pinball table. They haven't gotten the audio just right. Like sometimes the haptic's too loud and it buzzes. Sometimes the speakers are too loud and they're buzzing. And my buddy Shotgun Sean in the chat room, he's having a problem with his speakers in the back where they're making all kinds of buzzing noises, and supposedly it can be fixed with software. It's not speaker related. Like if he turns the volume down, I think it fixes it. But these are things that I think, since it's a new product, it's nice to see them trying to do weekly updates with this. But there's going to come a point where they got to step back. Now they're doing firmware for the gamer, the mini, the
they're spinning plates at this point. They're one slows down and starts to toggle, and they're like, oh wait, gotta get it back, spin. That's what happens when you're implementing a ecosystem, but you're also trying to juggle multiple peripherals on that ecosystem.
So one hell of a circus analogy there, Doug.
Yep. I do love me a good circus, minus the torture of the animals.
But I would agree with you, Doug, that the Zaccaria tables are so much nicer. Like just the way the ball rolls.
Yeah, it I always equate it to like a disco ball, which sounds like an insult, but it really isn't. It's just got a nice sparkle to it, so
shine,
it seems more like it's rolling as opposed to just like pushing and sliding without going end over end type of thing. It actually has a little more, intriguing look to it.
So
some lighting effects.
So if you guys haven't pre-ordered it, this isn't a sales pitch for you guys, but if you're on the fence about it, I know At Games is doing, or they did, or they're still going on. I don't know if the sale's still going on. There was a sale going on where you could get the Zaccaria tables. If it's still going on, I encourage you guys, if you have the Legends Pinball or even the Legends Ultimate, if for that, go get them. Doug and I can honestly say
it's 100 tables, for crying out loud.
It's 100 tables, but they're great tables. And even some of them, like I know Wagner, you're in here, Wagner's Tech Talk. If you like the old 50, 60 version table of that, and I do on some of the tables too, because that's what I seen in the arcades.
They're challenging.
And stuff. But you can get the newer version for those guys that want that remake of it, and so there's a lot of great tables, and I'd encourage you guys to get it. I still haven't gotten through them all. I've been playing certain ones and just playing them.
I still think it's just awesome that you can now have I don't want to say low cost, but a reasonably priced entry into virtual pinball tables, because they are fun. And spending $2,000 to get one is a lot. So
yes.
This is much, it's still not pocket change, but I think it's acceptable, and the quality of it is pretty good.
It's the price of a transforming Optimus Prime. So.
Oh yeah, I know. That's I don't know.
So we went from let's get this timeline right, guys. We went from the full-size Optimus Prime, which was going for what, a couple $100,000. I think that's what.
No.
It was like
the truck. 26,000 or something like that.
Oh, it's 26,000.
Yeah.
So that's the
Doug's
one.
still taking money.
That's what Doug wanted first. Okay.
Yep.
Then we went to now the Optimus Prime. That's $700. What's it gonna be in a couple weeks when they come out with another Optimus Prime? Doug's gonna be like,
Well, I mean, the trend is my price keeps going down. So it started up here for the real deal, 26,000. Now we're settling for a $700 transforming robot. A couple
I'll
weeks,
still say,
I'll
though,
just settle for the $25 plastic figure.
The $25,000 one is still a friggin' deal. I mean,
well,
It was in the movie for crying out
Well,
loud.
here-
I know.
Doug, I think this is what you could say to your wife. Say, hey, it could be worse. I could be asking to get this, and instead I'm getting the $700 one.
Yeah. I mean, she got on to me because I jokingly made a post on Facebook that I was going to have to start an OnlyFans account to be able to afford my toy hobby. And she's like, "You going to run this past the wife?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm going to run it right past you, not us." I mean, that's how we operate.
Oh, boy. I bet you were sleeping on the couch for a couple days after that.
Yeah, I sleep better. She snores.
No, but it's interesting. I know, guys, we haven't really discussed a lot about the arcade space, but there's really not a lot going on.
Yeah, this is the lull period. Typically, you have those high points. You have right around Father's Day when they got some new cabinets coming out to give gifts to Dad. You get the summertime announcements, which we'll see when we have digital E3, and then of course you have your fall Christmas time. So we're still technically in the lull period.
Right. It's supposed to be outside enjoying, nature, but of course, we're not quite there yet.
It's not that these companies aren't innovating. It's just that, hey, they just release new products. And I know the pinball machines from Arcade 1-Up have been shipping, and I'm still waiting for the price to go down before I get it.
That's another thing. Shipping is still a fiasco, and people keep forgetting that we're still in this pandemic. Like, a ship turned sideways in the Suez Canal, and people are like, "Oh, that's silly, that's stupid," and they don't realize that truly affected things. That put things back.
They should not have let me steer that boat.
Exactly, because Glenn put on his captain hat and said, took a swig of his blue stuff.
I was just gonna say that. I was like,
sideways.
Hey, look, when you're on these big ships, they give you the alcohol. They want you to put your hand up. They put one rum right in your hand.
Glenn, the stick was to steer the ship, not play video games and Pac-Man with it. That's not what it was for.
To be completely honest, I do have my boating license. I have my license. So
that scares
that boat.
That scares me even more. At the fact that you would had that happen.
It's like you're driving the boat. Oh, hi, Carl. Oh, Jesus! Oh, it's smashed. We're stuck.
All right, so we have an interesting comment here from somebody in the chat room. I'm going to post it, and I know they didn't mean anything by it, but I just thought it was funny. I wanted to bring it up. You guys, from Al, he says, you guys are way too young to appreciate the retro tables. And you're probably right, because we didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in some of the era.
We're too young. You hear that? We're too young. We're too young.
I was about to say, Glenn will take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I personally am too young to know and experience them firsthand, other than when I got to play a lot of them at the Pinball Hall of Fame Museum in Las Vegas. But I am, or last I checked anyway, I am the #1 person on the leaderboards for the Black Belt Retro table. So
for now,
I put my money where my mouth is. I enjoy those retro tables.
Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, hey, we welcome that.
Look at Glenn. He's de-aged himself 20 years.
Oh, boy. See what you started, Al?
Earl's coming out, and I'm all ready to roll. I'm a kid. I'm too young.
See what you did, Al? We appreciate the comment, but see what you did? See what you created? It's all your fault. I'm just saying that. I'm going to state that. Doug, there was a third story that you wanted to talk about in the list that you showed that you said you caught up this year. So I'm going to let you take it over for that one.
Yeah, we're just going to kind of talk about it in passing. So Streets of Rage 4 came out last year. Fantastic follow-up official sequel to the beloved Streets of Rage beat-em-up franchise. Great game. If you haven't played it, definitely play it. It's on, partner every console and system you can think of. But it's getting some DLC content. Unfortunately, they didn't give a date for the DLC content, but it's going to have new game modes, new playable characters, 3. They only revealed 1. They showed silhouettes of 2 others. So you'll get, some more playable characters, new stages, new game modes, all sorts of great stuff. It's called Mr. X's Nightmare, which is, appropriate for anybody that's familiar with the Streets of Rage franchise. But, looking forward to it. I've
Love
personally
Street
played through this game on 3 different systems. I enjoy it thoroughly, and I'm anxious to play through it again with new eyes and new characters, so to speak. We even got new moves.
I played this game a couple times on the PS4. I played through it. I played through it with my son. I played through it with a buddy of mine, and I played it through solo. It has a lot of playability on this, and I've unlocked a lot of the retro characters with this that you can when you beat the game on different difficulty levels. My question, Doug, is have you gone through this whole thing on expert or the highest level that you could possibly go through? Have you done that?
I've done that once, and it was miserable, and I'll never
I'm
do it
sure.
again. Yeah,
I haven't
I'm-
attempted it yet, but that's next on my list.
I will publicly say I purposely 95% of the time always purposely play my games on easy. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, you play your games on easy?
I
You're
do
not a real
too.
gamer." It's like I don't have enough time to sit there and just grind away. Number one, I play games to relax and enjoy myself, not to smash my head against a controller or a wall and say, "Oh, this is frustrating." Like, I enjoy a challenge, but I'm not going to put myself through purposeful, torture just to say I'm a cool gamer because I played it on expert, and you're a loser gamer because you played it on easy.
Yeah.
I played an expert, you loser.
Well, and I want to bring this up here. Dylan James says, yeah, maybe Cool Toys #1 on pinball table, and Dubs did it on the gamer. I'm looking at the website for all devices. That's the way he plays. He cheats.
Oh,
I tried to tell you guys that.
Yeah.
Back with
there
Legend
is-
Center.
There's definite advantages to playing in different peripherals versus the actual pinball tables. But either way, I'm a black belt in real life, so suck it.
Yeah. So the thing with P-Dubs is, he's so old, he can't see the ball moving at 1080p 60, which is why he was such a big fan of the Toy Shock when it came out. He didn't need 60 frames because that's all he could see. So that's why he has to go over to the Gamer Mini or the Gamer Pro to play this because it moves slower. And then he can beat you guys a score and then go brag on his show. Michael B. told me the inside. I got the inside scoop here, so you're hearing it first.
Well, Glenn, it sounds like P-Dubs needs to, borrow your P-Dubs glasses, get some 2020 P-Dubs vision there.
Don't be talking about how I play my games. I win it fair and square in regular mode.
No, we're joking, of course. He doesn't do that, but there is an advantage to playing it. My daughter even said when she was playing it on the Gamer Pro, she's like, wow. She's like, I can't play this anymore after playing the Legends pinball. It's just too slow. It really is. The ball, I call it the floating ball on the now, it was good at the time because I didn't have the pinball and I didn't know anything, but now when you go to it, it's kind of like, I can't play that anymore.
Yeah. It's no longer an even comparison.
No. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that we're going to see more and more things come. I'm excited to see if At Games can get some more licenses for tables to put this on there because, like the rest of you guys, Glenn, I think you said it earlier, I'm running out of room, and I'm probably going to donate the Toy Shock once the Star Wars comes down in price. I want to get it around like $450. I think that's where the value for me is.
Was there that replacement board for the Toy Shock?
So that's what I wanted to bring up too. So Toy Shock, wherever you guys are, I'll come on me. So it's on me saying this. You guys said version 3 board was going to come out early in January. Now I understand the shipping, but we haven't heard anything. No updates. Nothing. It's been chirp since November. What's going on?
Let me open up that can of worms right here. Pop that can of worms.
Listen,
right
I'm not the only one that's asking this, and I'll take one for the community. That's fine. But the community's been asking this too. And now, for me, it's not that big a deal. Like, we have real little kids that sometimes come over that play it. But everybody's been playing the Legends pinball. But there's guys out there that can't afford the Legends pinball, and they just have a Toy Shock. So they want that updated board, and I understand the way shipping is right now. But you're still getting new stock of Toy Shocks, so where's the boards? Just asking.
Yeah.
Just asking. Asking for a friend.
Because if that new stock has the board in it, I mean, that shows that they're manufacturing the board at least. So you would hope that there'd be something set aside for those consumers.
It's like the cable company. We got a great deal for our new customers, but the old customers, you don't get it. No.
Man, cable companies and that offer. Oh, that is
Oh,
the worst.
okay. So P-Dubs is saying they made. Okay, so they made an announcement last week. The boards are coming in May. Where did they make the announcement? Because if I didn't see it, so that's something that should be pinned to the top of the group. And I'll admit I unfollowed the group
First
because
of
I don't
all,
want to be
I'm
spammed.
right here. I don't know who that is. He's an imposter. I am right here.
But
I don't know who
okay,
that
we
is.
went
Fake.
from September to November, then we went from November to January, and now we're looking at May for these boards. And I get it, we're in a pandemic. I do get it. But if you're able to continue shipping stock, why aren't the boards available? And I thought the boards were manufactured in Texas. Could be wrong on that, but that's where I thought they were coming
That
from.
explains it. It's like $50,000 to run the electronics for a day. Coming from Texas.
But P-Dub says they pinned it on the top of their Facebook page. Okay, so if they did it last week, then okay, I missed it. That's my fault. But again, when you keep pushing it back and you keep saying, "Oh, it's going to be this time. Oh, it's going to be this time," you know, people are. I see Toy Shocks going up for sale almost every other day, and that's the reality of it. It's. I want to love the machine, I do, but after playing the Legends, it's.
Well, I mean, it's not an apples to apples comparison.
Yeah, the Toy Shock, your kid's supposed to love it. You're not supposed to love it. You're loving it because you wanted pinball, but it's not really designed for you.
That's right.
It's the introduction to virtual pinball for beginners, and then everything else gets more advanced, has more bells and whistles, and obviously the price goes up. But different strokes, different folks. Somebody that's a-okay for them. Other people they're said, this is a piece of crap. It just depends on what you expect and what you want from a machine.
Yep.
So they all want to know. They want to know why Glenn. You are not in the TechBuzz Gaming Discord community that we've got. Yeah, we've got, dude. We have.
I'm the last to find everything out between you two. You tell me nothing.
Listen, Camo's one of our moderators in there. We've got Shotgun Sean in there. We've got a Retro Buzz channel. We've got a General Tech Buzz channel. We've got a Hangout channel, a Help channel, a Tech Support. Meatball Saucy's in there a lot, helping these guys in the tech support. So if you guys are in to the VPN stuff, like we're talking about modding the stuff, he's been in there helping guys mod their VPNs. I'm
gonna be honest. I've had a Discord.
Dude, you need to get in it.
4 years. I haven't been in there once. I have a Discord. Glenn's Retro Show. It's been there. I haven't been there.
Listen, there's a gaming picks. If you guys want to show your gaming setups, there's a channel for that. There's a pinball channel that they had me just open. So these guys are in there talking pinball. I mean,
all right, fine.
A lot of stuff, Glenn. Come on, man.
I'll get in there.
So
I'll take Discord out on a date, and I'll get right in there.
So either way, that's what's going on that. So I appreciate it. So Jeff Rainwater. Jeff Rainwater. No respect for Glenn. You tell him nothing. Team Glenn. Hashtag Team Glenn.
They don't. All week they conspire. They both do it all week. And then I come on the show and I'll go, you hear about this? Like, what are you talking about?
Surprise.
Like, what are we on episode 61 now? Last time I looked, we were on episode 3. What happened?
You slept.
You're still ranting about Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on her, man.
Third episode never ended.
Oh boy, Kathleen Kennedy, man. She's got to go. Got to go.
Well, either way, guys, there's a great opportunity to get in there. I'm not always communicating, but I'm always reading it because I'm like at work. But sometimes I'll jump in while I'm at work if I'm not having a super busy day. So it's great to get in there. But I want to say thank you to everybody that's been in there. Like I said, the guys like Meatball Saucy, Shotgun Sean, with Camo in there. These guys have been kind of running it, inviting people, getting everybody in there. And the best part about it, guys, you ready for this? There's no drama. There hasn't been.
I'm not in there yet.
There hasn't been any drama in there, and I think the guys will tell you
on the internet for sure.
This is like you go into these groups and everybody's griping and complaining. Don't post this. Don't post that. The only thing
I think you told me it was all my groups. I think you were telling me it was all my groups that were doing that.
Not saying it's your groups, but. We just say, hey, look, if you want to post your gaming setup, just put it in that channel so people can go through the channel and just look at all your stuff. You want to talk pinball and get into that, just go in the pinball channel. Or if you want to do, hey, I need help with setting up my pinball.
Wait, is there a Pong channel in there?
No, but if you join, I'll create one.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair
Special
enough.
one
I want
for
a Magnavox Odyssey and a Pong one.
No, well, we could create
the
some.
crickets in those.
Paul's
those
asking.
forums.
He's like, "Can you do a Discord group for drama?" Well, we could do that, but that that would probably.
It's called Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. If you really want to get some help with some of this stuff, these guys are in there, like tech support stuff. People have been asking me with video, but we want it archived in that area so guys don't have to answer it 50 times about like
They will.
cool toy. What's your
They
favorite pinball table? At least they can go back and they could see it
And
in
see
there.
the answer. Yeah.
And they can see the answer.
Wait, they got to look. They got to look.
Or when
They
Meatball,
ask.
like with Meatball Saucy, he went through with Shotgun Sean. He went through all the different process to get virtual pinball working. And I told him go in that room so then people can read back through and follow it step by step on how to do that stuff. So, it's a really, really good place that these guys have been doing a really good job. So,
Does it require 2400 or can I go with a 56K flex modem to get on this Discord?
probably 56K modem. I think you'll be okay with it.
Okay.
How many of those AOL trial discs you got, Glenn?
He's
Oh
using
man,
them as
I've
coasters.
got. You should see. You know what? Maybe next year I'll show you. Maybe next time you will see.
There we go.
They're great. You put them around your house, and it keeps the government away. Those beams, they beam towards the house, reflects off.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think we're just about out of time. So we're gonna have to
What?
wrap
So
this
soon?
up. I know it's been one heck of a show. We didn't know if we'd have enough to cover a whole show. I think we were kind of like, what are we gonna do? Because there wasn't really a lot of news, but it was fun catching up with everybody. So let's kind of go through Mr. Doug, youtube.com/cooltoy, and if you didn't see, he's got a brand new video that he put up about the Technodrome. I believe is the latest video that I'll be watching
Childhood dream
tonight.
come true.
So is that the scale size of the one that came out in the 80s? No, I didn't mean
it's the original release in all its glory. Is it to scale? Absolutely not. So if mathematically, if it was to scale, even for the 4-inch Ninja Turtle figures, it would have to be like 75 foot tall, which I don't know what Playmates was thinking. They dropped the ball. I really wish, I could have had a 75 foot tall Technodrome. If Hasbro can release a USS flag that's 7 foot long, the least they could do is release a 75 foot Technodrome.
So I'm being told that P-Dub says he joined the Discord for the #CoolToyRoms channel. There's no channel for that, so don't get excited.
We are just beating that joke to death.
Aren't we, though? Aren't we, though? But anyways, I that's what I was wondering, because I saw you holding it on there, and I just wasn't sure if it was like the original release that was it Kenner or LJ? Was it?
No, it's Playmates.
Playmates,
has
okay.
the Ninja Turtles license. So yeah, I had got it for Christmas when it first came out in 1990. It was childhood dream come true because we were poor as hell, and I don't know what or how, and I don't want to know how or what my parents did to get me it, but they got me it. I played with it until it literally disintegrated and fell apart. So it didn't survive my childhood, but I had many, many years of joy. But it's always been like the number one. I want this back. I want the box. I want it, complete and great condition or good condition type of thing. And I was able to finally track it down.
So, because Doug's into toys, before we get to Glenn here, I got to show him my latest toy pickup.
Ah, there we go. I like
So
to
you
be a bad
ready
influence.
for this?
Waiting for it. Oh, Jesus. I mean, I know nothing about Fortnite, but those are cool.
This
it's
is
a freaking banana in a tuxedo.
This is Agent Peely. This is the guy that I usually am in Fortnite, because I'm almost to level 60. We've been playing almost every night. We've been having a ball, and guys say that I'm a little out of control, but honestly, it's something I can get my kids, play with my kids and play with people that are, all different platforms, and, we have a good time. So I wanted to get this because of course, I'm Agent Peely on the game, so I got that. So it is
Like
cool.
I said, I don't know
It's
anything
very
about
cool.
Fortnite, but that's a pretty cool action figure. It's a freaking banana in a tuxedo, and
That's
you even
right.
got the white tuxedo, James Bond style. So
Oh, and it comes with the
I
machine
might have
guns
to go
and
down
the
that
sniper,
rabbit hole.
the machine gun and the sniper rifle. It comes with.
There we go.
So you
There
got
we go.
and
Accessories. I know it's they're made by Hasbro, so they got a good
rotating.
company
Rotating bookshelf. So he
Very
can turn
nice.
it. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
it's
That's kinda cool.
it is. It's a nice. But I'm not gonna probably, because I don't play with the toys and stack them up, because otherwise they'll get all dusty. I'm like Glenn, but I'll keep it in the box. I'll keep it. I need to get some bags. What I should have done is put it in a bag just to be funny.
They got them free at the supermarkets. Keep telling you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Glenn Planamento, youtube.com/gplanamento, and he has also been doing a lot of game streams as of late. He's been going live.
I've been trying to diversify. That's a new word I learned from somebody, diversify. So I want to do more gameplay. Actually, I'm a little late. I wanted to do my Fairchild Channel F video last week. Didn't get around to it because at the same time I got my At Games Legends Ultimate pinball that came in, the trackball. I got my trackball for the Golden Tee. I got some things I've been testing around, and Steven and Doug know that I'm working on this huge 3D printing project that's probably got another 50 hours. I got like 50, 60 hours into printing already.
A lot of plastic.
It looks awesome. It looks awesome, though, guys. It's worth the wait. You definitely want to see this.
So that's pretty cool. And I'm actually, I have some. I think I might get more into the retro gaming and 3D printing. I'm getting very good with the 3D printing, so I think I might be releasing some stuff on Thingiverse for retro gaming things. But I have another announcement as well. Is we are working on all these other products, and we're trying to expand the Gren's Retro Show controller family. So some people in the retro community,
let's call it what it is.
I like
Empire.
that too. That's my Darth Vader voice. But some people may know Stefan Berger. Stefan Berger makes quite a few products out there already. Probably the most famous one in recent memory is the 4/8-way powered gate switcher. And a few minutes before the show, I had a conversation with him and my partners, and we're bringing them on board. So Stefan will be working with us on future Glenn's Retro Show products. And he actually is working on quite a few right now. I can't go into details as of right now, but we really are going to start stepping up products. And once this pandemic is over, we were hoping to be off Amazon and have our own site up and running, so we don't have to go through Amazon and get our product supplies better and out quicker. So that's coming. So thank you, Stefan, for accepting the offer. And this is really cool stuff coming for us. I'm serious. He makes some really good things. So very excited about that.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it too, because like I said, we've had the privilege of seeing some of the stuff that you're working on, and you guys want to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to Glenn, you need to get over there and subscribe, because even if they're prototypes, the things that he's coming up with, guys, is going to change the way you're doing things.
Very nice.
Yes, it's pretty cool. So, Michael B says, I need that trackball myself. Yeah, I want it too as well for the Legends
today, Glenn.
Ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah, and just that we have people here now. Let me say real quick. Some people have been saying they wanted to have, why is it not the same size? Why is it your smaller trackball? Now, in the Golden Tee, it is going to be the Golden Tee size trackball because of the way the case is designed. We could do that. But unfortunately, we tried a few things. We couldn't get the larger ball to work properly in the Legends Ultimate. So it's going to be our smaller ball. However, it'll be more accurate. It'll roll better. It'll be an overall better trackball, but unfortunately, it will be the smaller ball. But if you've seen pictures of it, it really looks really nice, and it will light up in there as well. So I'm sorry it will not be the At Games Legends size, but sometimes great things come in small packages.
That's right.
That was perfect segue.
Well, guys, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to let you guys go. 9 o'clock tonight, Super Game Room dudes should be on. I believe they'll be on. So, guys, make sure you check it out. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate all that. And I know I haven't done any YouTube videos in a while, and it's just been going live, doing stuff live, and I just really haven't had anything to really do a video about right now that I want to do. So maybe I'll do it on the Fortnite banana thing. I don't know.
There you go.
We'll see. Anyways, guys, we'll see you guys next week for more of the Retro Buzz. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And, well, until next time, keep it buzzing.